The Awakening of the Heart. My beloved brothers and sisters in faith, let us begin this journey by reflecting on a profound truth that courses through the veins of every believer's existence. There exists among the Ummah those who carry within their souls a sacred imprint, a mark unseen by mortal eyes, but radiant in the realm of the unseen. These are not scars etched by worldly trials, nor symbols inked upon the skin, but rather celestial insignias placed by the Most Merciful upon the hearts of those He has chosen to walk paths illuminated by divine purpose. Now, before we delve deeper into this ocean of understanding, let us anchor ourselves in the unshakable foundations of our Aqidah. In the perfect justice of Allah's wisdom, there exists no exclusive lineage of chosen ones, as other nations might claim. No hereditary spiritual aristocracy, no gate-kept sanctity reserved for a privileged few. For Allah Himself declares in the luminous verses of Surah Al-Hujurat, "Indeed, the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous of you." 49 minutes and 13 seconds. This divine decree shatters all illusions of superiority based on bloodline, wealth, or worldly status. The keys to elevation lie not in what the eyes can see, but in the condition of the heart that only Allah truly knows. Yet here emerges a beautiful paradox. While spiritual distinction isn't inherited, it's earned through the sweat of obedience and the tears of submission. When you feel within your chest this inexplicable pull toward transcendence, this restlessness with worldly pretenses, know that it's the Rab of the worlds whispering to your soul through the language of divine discontent. The Prophet illuminated this truth when he said, "Islam began as something strange, and it will return to being strange. So give glad tidings to the strangers." Muslim. That peculiar sensation of being a spiritual exile amidst worldly complacency. That's not alienation. It's your soul recognizing its true homeland. Expanded analysis of Sign 1, the sacred disconnect. Let us now immerse ourselves in understanding the first hidden mark, a soul's gradual detachment from worldly illusions. Have you not observed, dear seeker, how your heart responds differently to life's temptations compared to those drowning in dunya's fleeting pleasures? While masses clamor after material gain, like moths to a dying flame, your inner being finds no lasting joy in these pursuits. You watch as people trade their souls for transient delights, status symbols gathering dust, relationships built on vanity, achievements that crumble like sandcastles before death's inevitable tide. This isn't a curse of isolation, but a mercy of awakening. The Quran paints this reality with divine eloquence. The life of this world is but amusement and diversion, and indeed, the home of the hereafter is the true life, if only they knew. 29-64. When Allah chooses to honor a servant, He begins by removing the scales of worldly delusion from their spiritual vision. Like a mother gently untangling her child from thorny bushes, Allah pulls you away from harmful attachments, not to deprive you, but to protect the sacred seed of Iman growing within your chest. Consider the parable of Prophet Ibrahim, A.S., whose very first test was rejecting the idolatrous complacency of his people. While others bowed to stone statues, his heart rejected these falsehoods, not out of arrogance, but because Allah had planted within him a cosmic homesickness for divine truth. That same restlessness you feel when surrounded by mindless entertainment or hollow conversations, that's your spiritual ancestry calling. You're inheriting the legacy of Ibrahim's courageous loneliness, the price paid by all who choose Tawheed over tribal conformity. But let us be clear, this divine disconnect isn't license for monastic isolation. The Sunnah teaches balance. Work for your worldly life as if you will live forever, and work for the hereafter as if you will die tomorrow. Ibn Asakir. The test lies in engaging with the world without being enslaved by it. when you find yourself able to partake in life's blessings while keeping your soul anchored in eternity, that's the sweet spot of zuhd, asceticism, the salaf embodied. You'll know this grace has touched you when worldly losses no longer devastate you, nor do gains intoxicate you, for your heart's compass now points unwaveringly toward Allah, deepening the understanding of tests. Sign 2. Now, let us confront a question that has troubled many sincere hearts. Why do the righteous suffer more trials than the heedless? It seems paradoxical. Shouldn't obedience bring ease? Yet the Prophet shatters this misconception. The greatest trials come to the prophets, then the next best, then the next best. Tirmidhi. Your struggles aren't evidence of Allah's displeasure. They're badges of honor in the unseen realm. Imagine two students. One lazes about, unchallenged, gathering dust on untouched books. The other is rigorously trained, given complex problems, held to higher standards, pushed beyond comfort. Which student is being prepared for greatness? This is Allah's divine pedagogy. He allows your faith to be pressure-tested because He intends for you to ascend to stations requiring spiritual fortitude. The Quran consoles, "Do you think you will enter paradise without being tested like those before you?" 2:214. Every tear shed in patient endurance waters the gardens of your akhirah. Take inspiration from the trials of Prophet Ayub, A.S. Stricken with unimaginable loss and physical agony, his famous plea wasn't for the removal of tests, but for Allah's mercy in their midst. "Harm has touched me, and you are the most merciful of the merciful." 21:83. His story teaches us that trials aren't obstacles on the path, they're the path itself. When you emerge from life's crucibles with Iman intact, you don't just survive. You become a living testament to Allah's sustaining power.